Today's the day. It's not a good day. My least favorite day. Let's go inside and talk about it.
It's the least wonderful time of the year.
Wow. Took everything out of the shower, cleaned it. It's probably still in the drying process. Obviously, there's still some apparatuses for my tankless water heater, but I had my last shower in here last night because today is winterizing day. If you're not already aware, I winterize my camper every single year. For the cold months, usually about 4 months. I do this for a number of reasons. One, my water hoses, pipes, whatever, none of that is insulated. A lot of my water lines I just can't get to, or they're difficult to get to. Ain't nobody got time for that. Two, I have an outside water source. I truck my water in and I have a water tank in behind here. It's not underground, so obviously if I leave it out all winter, it's going to freeze. And the whole thing's just going to be a nightmare. So I suck it up, I winterize, and I just deal with that for 4 months, which means I don't have running water. Yes, it can be an inconvenience, but I just deal with it. So over the next few months when it's going to be hella cold outside, I just shower elsewhere. And I catch my water in here. I do obviously keep containers of water inside here that aren't going to freeze. And any of the gray water that I have, I just catch in a container. And that's kind of how I've been doing things for the last almost 7 years. Whew. Yeah. It's a chilly one. Oh, I forgot. This doesn't light up anymore. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. Figure that out another day. If you can see, maybe you can't see. It's 1 degree, just above freezing, 24 degrees in here. Got a nice fire going. Every year, usually in October, I start paying attention to the 14-day forecast. And when I start seeing nighttime lows dip down to a certain temperature, that's, you know, starting to get quite a bit below freezing. Not quite a bit, but just enough. That's when I decide, okay, I'm going to winterize before that because I don't want to mess around and end up with busted water lines or pipes. To me, that would be a total disaster and I don't want to deal with it. So tonight is going to be -4. Tomorrow night is going to be -5. I can handle -2, -3, but I start to get a little concerned when it gets colder than that. That's better. Yes, baby. Blast that heat. Of course, I went and picked up the pink antifreeze. You all know what this looks like. Winterproof. Good for -50. Obviously, this is the stuff that is safe for your plumbing system if you're in an RV or anything else that needs a winterized plumbing system. Hoping this 1 jug is going to be enough. I thought I had a second one somewhere, but it turns out I don't. So, fingers crossed that this going through the water lines and also filling up the P-traps is going to be plenty. Now, I did remove all of the hoses and stuff to my tankless water heater. I probably will also take this off of the wall and just tilt it forward and make sure I get any remaining water out of here because I really don't want any rust forming or anything at the bottom of this. It's lasted me, I don't even want to say it because it'll probably die next year. I've had this for 5 or 6 years now and it's lasted me that long, so, you know. I always dread saying those things because I always jinx myself, and now next year that's not going to work for me. Wait and see. Wait and see. Another thing I need to do, this is open all the time, you know, for my showers and such to use the fan. I need to close the hatch up here, and I have like sort of a little insulating pillow thing that goes up in here just to keep any draft from coming down, which I need to find because I don't know where it is. There's one in the bedroom. Sorry about the lines from the lights. I don't know why it does that. LEDs, I guess. You might have trouble seeing it, but I have a vent in here. It doesn't have a fan, just a vent, and yeah, I just have one of these insulating pillows that I stick up in there, and I don't have to worry about any cool drafts coming down. Yeah, that's all it is. And I have another one somewhere for the bathroom. I just have to locate it. And there's 2 lazy cats on the bed. You guys are going to have to get off of here because the water pump is right underneath of here. So I am going to need to get to that eventually to winterize. Is that cool? Sorry to disturb your slumber. Do you mind? Do you mind? Thank you. By the way, if you don't know, fleece sheets are a must if you're going to live in one of these things all winter. In my opinion, they're a must. Yes, yes. They're warm. They're warm. Okay. Insulating pillow located. It's a wee bit broken, but it will do. Anyway, you get the idea. Kind of just gets shoved up in there and keeps the cool air from coming down at ya. Ramsey, Ramsey, do you have to lay on my coveralls? Anything new I set there, you have to check it out, right? Next on the agenda, draining water out of this bad boy. That's water coming directly from my freshwater tank. Yeah, I'm just going to drain that completely out before I can do anything else, really. Also, my freshwater in this tote here, there's not much. I've got definitely less than 1/4 of a tank in here, but I do have to drain all that out as well. Which I should probably reattach a hose so it's not just spraying right here against the side of the trailer. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Okay, so I had to put this hose back on here, which just isn't very long, as you can see. I wanted to attach a longer hose so I could kind of drain the water down in there, but I couldn't get this taken off of here. I don't know if it's just that cold outside or if I'm just a weakling. I don't know. Alright. As winterizing gets closer to, I try to make sure that I don't have a lot of water in here so that there's less that I have to drain out. This isn't too bad. It's been worse. Thought I could make it till at least December. I know this video will probably come out in December, but I thought I could make it till December before I had to winterize, but Mother Nature had other plans, and that's okay. It's all right. Still currently struggling. You know, my charge controller died, so I unhooked that, and I'm just currently not using this panel because I don't have the new one hooked up quite just yet. So right now I've just been using my spare solar panels to put a little juice on my almost end of their life batteries. That is on the agenda, getting new batteries. Working on it. I'm slow, I know, but it's on the list. It's on the list. You mad? I spy with my eyes a set of green eyes, being a creeper. So while that water is draining, because it takes a while, I think I'm going to put the generator back here under the housing so I can hook the trailer back up to it. It's working again. The spark plug was definitely the issue. I've been running it, you know, charging up the batteries, and I haven't had that issue since. It hasn't shut down on me again. You saw the condition of the spark plug, right? It was, yeah. It's no wonder that thing was shutting off on me. Well, it's in there. I know that wasn't glamorous, but it worked. Okay, I just have to bring the battery over, get everything re-hooked up, get the trailer plugged in. Back in business, baby. Did you come out here to be nosy, or did you hear me scream and wonder what was happening? Bye! Okay. Well, you guys missed out on that. I came to see how my water draining was going. It's still going. Stepped on here where I drained my fresh tank, and the water is like freezing on here, so it's very, very slippery. I just about threw my back out when I stepped on here. Woo! Slippery. Okay, what do we get left here? This is almost done. I can see just a little bit at the very bottom. So I need to tilt this forward and put a block on the other end to bring all the water down like this. So kind of like this. Just shoved a block under here. Tilt this forward. The rest of the water that's in here should move to the front, and that should be it. All right. Well, you have been resurrected. You have fresh oil change, brand new spark plug. Are you going to be nice to me now? You don't plan on causing me any more troubles? No más problemas? Muchas gracias. Careful on this. Oof. Okay, so this has drained completely out. I just heard it burping at me, so I'm guessing it's done. I'm just going to take off this hose, put it away, and I'm going to leave this valve open all winter. It doesn't hurt to. I mean, if there is any other moisture that needs to drip out of it, it can. We just hit freezing. Oh yes, doesn't work. We just hit freezing, 0 degrees. Next on the list for me is pouring the pink antifreeze through the pump and all through the water lines. All through the plumbing system, filling up the goosenecks, P-traps, whatever. Yeah. Okay, well, after a little battle with the mattress, I'm under the bed. And thankfully, to make things easier, several years ago, I added this little winterizing kit. So all I need to do is unscrew the cap on the top, add my little hose here. I need to just divert this because this was open so that water could come from the tank and go through the pump. But I'm going to close it off from the tank and open it up from this for this hose. So now when I turn on the pump, it's going to suck this antifreeze out of my jug here, go through the pump and go all through my water lines. Yeah, it just makes things a lot easier. So if you have the option of getting a winterizing kit, I highly suggest it. It just makes things so much easier. My water heater is just completely closed off. If you're not aware, I do not use it at all. It had a leak, so I completely avoid it and I use my tankless water heater. Yeah, so I just bypass that completely and I just don't deal with it. Probably could remove that one of these days and have a little extra storage there, but you know, it also seems like kind of a pain, so I just leave it. Whatever. Is that a mosquito? There's mosquitoes in here. What the heck? Okay, pump is on. So I'm just gonna open up every single tap that I have until pink antifreeze starts to come through, and then I'm gonna shut them off. Do the same thing to all of them until no more water comes through, just pink antifreeze. Pink. Hello. Pink. I'm also going to keep coming in here and checking my level of antifreeze because this is the only jug I have, so if I need more, I've got to run to town. Not bad, still have half of a jug. Okay, well, time to shut the pump off and not see it again for another few months. Alright, well, That's it for the pump and having it go all through the lines. I swear this gets easier. I have a little bit of antifreeze in this line leaking out, but not a huge deal. The brass cover back on. Yeah, I swear this gets easier and easier every single year. I used to dread doing this, and I used to have like a little instruction pamphlet that I used to go by just to make sure I had everything done in the right order. I don't even need that anymore. It's so easy and simple to me. The last thing I do while I'm under the bed here is just put some insulation in front of this hatch. And the reason is because this lets a lot of draft in and it comes up behind the bed and you really feel it. So I put a chunk of insulation here and some Reflectix over it, and that just helps keep things a little less drafty. Excuse me. Excuse me. Can you get out of there, please? Can you just maybe get out of there? Thank you. There we go. Pretty simple. I'm just trying to prevent that draft from coming through the hatch behind the bed. The last thing to do is just pour some of this down all of the drains and just fill up the P-traps with antifreeze. Probably doesn't take much, but I got lots to work with, so hey. Winterizing the plumbing, done. What's this? Well, by the looks of the snow and ice, wow, that's ice. I guess I got that all done just in time. As far as the RV toilet and black tank and all of that stuff, I don't deal with any of that. I don't use that. I actually removed the toilet the first month of me getting this rig, so I just use a compost toilet. It works for me, especially in this situation when it's winterized. So yeah, no dealing with black tanks. Now it's just a matter of cleaning up all this little pink mess, the antifreeze mess, and this shower will be used for a storage area for the rest of the winter. Yep. I can't use it. I may as well store things in it, right? As far as what I do for water in the winter time, as I mentioned, I do shower elsewhere. But I also keep jugs of water here under the couch. They do not freeze. I usually have it nice and warm in here from the wood stove. Yeah, this big one here is for doing dishes. These two here are for, let me show you. I have a water dispenser in the bathroom, and I just have this little square container that catches my gray water so I can still wash my hands, brush my teeth, wash my face. Gray water just goes in here. That way it's not going down the drain and into the plumbing system, into the tanks and all of that, and then freezing. It works for me. Like I said, not the most ideal, but I make it work. I deal with it. If I had more room under the sink, I would just remove some of the plumbing pipe under there and stick a container or a bucket underneath so that water could go down the drain. But I just don't have the room. It's a very small area. It's really difficult to work with. So yeah, I just do it this way. As far as dishes go, I do my dishes in a dish pan here anyway. So, you know, when I'm done, the gray water just gets dumped outside. And then they go in this drying rack. I've got a little, it's like a sink cover thing here, and yeah, just one of these doo-hoppies that will catch any dripping water. That way nothing's going down in the drains. Winterizing is done. Physically, it was pretty quick and painless. Mentally, it was kind of painful. I will miss my running water, my shower, but you know, it is what it is. Spring will be here before we know it, right? Anyway, you guys know I don't really care much for the winter, and I know. Why don't you move? Why don't you move somewhere else? Maybe one of these days I will, but for right now, I'm here, and I'm just gonna complain about the cold. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it from me here. I hope you're all doing well and staying warm. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I will catch you in the next one. See ya. In all honesty, winterizing kind of feels like it's happening at just the right time, because with the issues I'm having with my batteries lately, let me tell you, it's been a struggle just to have a shower. I've been having to make sure that my batteries have enough juice in them so that there's enough voltage going to my water pump. It's been a struggle. Almost every day that I've come home from work, I've had to charge my batteries with the generator. So at this point, I'm kind of over it, and so in a sense, I don't mind, having winterized today.